Hello guys, you catch me on a Tuesday. To be fair, that I'm not feeling too good, but it is a Tuesday nonetheless, and it is getting towards the end of another day, and what has been a fairly rocky weekend. So this video is just to explain what happened on Saturday evening and why my weekend, was fairly ruined because of that. So again, guys, as I mentioned, we are on Tuesday. The truck is still on sale on eBay until Friday, and then over the weekend I'm going to see what final offers I get, and the truck will go on Monday. So I do still have the truck. I know that this was meant to be, well, the video I did before was meant to be the final video, the final end for the truck, but it so happens that it isn't, and I'm here and now with another video just to add to, it's more of a vlog I guess, but it's just to add to the L200 series as such. So I was leaving my house on Saturday with a load of gear to go and set up at a friend's party to help run the evening, doing some bits there, media, all that kind of thing. As I was packing my truck up for the half an hour I was at the house before I left, I saw a police car was down opposite the house. Didn't really see anyone in it, but it was down there, so I noticed that. I then came to leave, packed all my stuff, and as soon as I pulled out of my driveway and then pulled left onto the main road, I was then followed by a police car. I was then followed fairly annoyingly for another mile and a half until we hit the high street, which then I was flashed over, which is great, in front of everyone. I was actually pulled over and told that I had no insurance, which is absolutely bonkers. I am one of the most thoughtful people when it comes to getting the correct insurance, all that kind of stuff. Just so you know, my vehicle's weird. It's a commercial vehicle, so it sits in a very weird bracket, but I have basically got a modified policy, a modified commercial vehicle policy. It's a bit weird, but that's what I've got, so that's all good. But obviously this was a shock to have got out of the car and hear this, and I had no understanding or any idea why this would be the case. So the first thing I did was just discuss about the fact the reg had been changed about 2 weeks ago to the BC02M UK plate from the original, which was the Les plate. So that was changed over, and I thought, well, maybe it was that, so I got them to check the Les plate, which is LEZ 1755, and that again came up with no insurance. So, in a fluster, the next port of call was to call the insurance company. As you can imagine, on a Saturday at about 5:30, they were closed, so that option was gone. I then tried to look at the documents in my phone, and I managed to see that there was a proof of deposit payment taken. I paid monthly for this insurance policy, so that was there, which then covered me up till the end of last month. This was the 30th I was pulled over, I think. So obviously that would have elapsed about 2 or 3 days before I'd been pulled over. So I could show that I had completed all the initial checks, because the insurance policy has only been running since June anyway. Yeah, so I had shown them that, but I couldn't access my online documents to get any of the up-to-date paperwork and details for the truck. The police officer, lady, a very inexperienced new starter, then decided to give me a £300 fine and 6 points for no insurance, when she may have not known or knew full down well that she could do a lot more to look into this than just look at that. So they pulled me over, they gave me the ticket very swiftly. They weren't lenient in any way at all, and were treating me as if I was some murderer. You horrible, disgusting person, you criminal. that I was for having no insurance, even though I knew I did. They could have done checks, which would have meant that they could have looked at my address and looked at all the active policies for that house and so forth. They could have done that. There's other avenues they could have gone down to have checked that I was insured, but in short, they didn't choose to. They gave me the fine, and that was that. Obviously, the feeling of knowing that you have now got what would be 9 points, as well as a fine in my current predicament. A £300 fine is not nice. And then knowing on top of that your truck's being seized and you've got to pay to get it back is just one of the most awful things for someone like me who is so active within the car scene running events. You know, all of us know our cars and vehicles help with our mental health, but it was it was a massive mental breakdown I went through. I was in a state. I was a nervous wreck. I was just a mixed bag of emotions, all because of that stop. My friends came and picked me up. Thank you, Kieran. Thank you, Mads. Thank you, Dave and Tash. They all came over and supported me in that evening, and I was feeling pretty awful. You've got to imagine getting points to things at the best of times is not the best. You know, sometimes we do silly things and we're caught, but it was something like that, but it was so stupid and so simple. I was gutted. So, I got back and I got on my laptop straight away and started looking into getting onto my portal, which I managed to log into, and look at my documents, and we found the issue. It was going to be one of two things, basically. It was going to be an admin error on the plate itself with a digit being put in wrong, or it was going to be the fact the insurance had been cancelled. When I looked back from my bank, the payment had come out on the, I think it's the 5th, my payment comes out. So that would have covered me from the 5th of July to the 5th of August, so technically I've been insured in that sense. There was no email, or with Brentaker, who I'm with, those guys will send you an email before they cancel any policy. They give you a warning notice. I've had nothing. There was no cancelled payment. There was no missed payment. So I was kind of thinking, what could it have been? And then we went on to the insurance document. And lo and behold, which is very ironic and still makes me laugh to this day, the registration that was insured under my policy was BC02 MUG, and what a mug I was on that night. What an absolute mug I looked like, and a mug I was taken for by the police that night. So it turns out that there was an insurance error, that they had used an incorrect letter on my plate. Now, insurance covers the car, not the plate. So if the plate is incorrect, it still means that your insurance is still valid. Obviously, the vehicle was impounded from Saturday evening through till Monday, and I had to then go and collect it and pay to get it back. We did try to dispute it at the police station, but the guy there, you know, is just a pencil pusher and isn't responsible for making decisions of that sort. So that evening, on the Saturday evening, when we sat down together and were discussing what had happened, I'm not really very impressed, nor was Tasha, who is a very good friend of mine, who took it upon herself to get back in contact with the officer, the female officer, and to speak to the male officer, Neil. His name is PC Neil, and she had a discussion with him. He was the more senior officer within the couple that did pull me over that evening, and Neil realised that mistakes had been made, and there, you know, in a way, there was part to blame for all of this. Me for not checking my documents, the insurance for the misspelled letter, and, you know, the officers for not potentially looking into the relevant, you know, avenues they could have in order to have eradicated this issue. This issue would not have happened if the correct changes were made, if I could have had access to my documents, and if the insurance had another letter. So it is a mixture of both. But ideally, the police officers knew what they were doing, and they should have taken more of an informative approach into trying to find out the bottom of the situation. So the officer did later agree that what had happened was bad, and shouldn't have happened, and had tried that evening with his superiors to get my truck released on the Saturday evening. Unfortunately, the recovery company wouldn't allow it, so I had to wait until Monday, and they decided to charge me, which I don't think is even right. They decided to charge me from Saturday evening for Saturday, Sunday and Monday, even though I couldn't collect it on Saturday or Sunday, and obviously if I could have, I would have collected it straight away, so I was a bit bitter about that as well. I don't think that's right, but at the end of the day, what can you do? You've got to pay to get it back. But, you know, in previous instances when I've had this problem, they've always started it from the first working day, and the charge doesn't begin until the end of that first working day, so that wasn't really particularly very, you know, exciting to go and have to find afterwards either. So, you know, fair play to Neil, this officer. He has been really good. He has not sent the ticket off. He has kept the ticket. As I said, we are now in Tuesday. I spoke to him on Saturday, all of Saturday evening and Sunday morning, and he is back in on Thursday. And he has already emailed off to have the ticket revoked pending the result from yesterday, which is obviously good. I'm insured against me revoked, and that is probably the most positive thing out of the whole situation, was the fact that I am insured and I was in the right, and the fact that these officers have put me through this, not to their own. They were doing their job, let's admit. And, you know, again, like I said, all three of us were in fault in certain ways, and the insurance company as well. So, but I've been put through this. I've had to pay for my truck for nothing I've done of my own good. And, you know, regardless of whether there is a letter misspelt, whether that's my fault, my responsibility, or the insurance, the vehicle was still insured. So the fact that I've had to pay to take my truck out and go through the inconvenience of that, even though I was actually insured, is not right. And that is the kind of stance that I'm approaching the police with at the moment, and it is wrong. It is totally wrong. And like I said, I've said multiple times, I can see the situation from all angles, that there is an equal amount of responsibility between us all. But at the end of the day, I've been put in this predicament by the insurance, by my own silliness, by not checking my documents, but you would trust the insurance company to do that properly anyway. You know, and by the police not doing things properly. So now I'm left. I had to pay 190 quid to get my truck back. The inconvenience of things isn't really the end of the world. I'm lucky I've got really good friends around me that have supported me and been able to, you know, travel, you know, move me around and help me run the meet the other evening. That was fine, but yeah, I am not happy. And, you know, when that officer is back in on Thursday, I'm going to be doing a claim and potentially complaining against the police for what has been done, because I believe it is wrong. And the fact that I've had to pay extra as well to get my truck back when I've done nothing wrong, I think is just ridiculous. So that was where I didn't have my truck at the weekend, but it is now back. I went and collected it yesterday, and the truck is looking to be sold on Monday, so it'll be here at the meets this weekend, just because it was going to be practical to do so, and then Monday of next week it will be gone. So I will be claiming compensation from the police in regards to the situation. Like I said, it really ruined my weekend. Although Sunday did make up for it, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, it was not a nice experience. It was not really very helpful, and you know, I'm the only one paying for it in the end, for the mistake that really is down to the other two parties. But I do have to admit, and I have learned in future reference, I need to keep a very close eye onto my documents. So I'm also guilty for not checking my documents at the same time. But obviously I'm paying for a service, you know, and I don't expect that service to fail me in such a way. That's the insurance in that sense. But yeah, so the truck's back, all is good. I'm obviously out of pocket, and I will be speaking to the officer on the Thursday. I will mention, I don't know when I do another video of this sort, when I do another vlog, I will give you guys a little update at the start of whatever video that is, explaining what the outcome of that was, but I probably won't end up getting any money back. So, you know, for their wrongdoing, I have to pay the result of that, so we will see. But hopefully we will get something back. Definitely. And, you know, fair play again in this whole situation to Neil, the officer. He's been very good. He's dealt with me personally, and you know what, he has made the situation very good, and he's been on side, and I'm very positive that he'll do all he can to support me in claiming the funds back for that issue. But I just thought I'd put that up because a lot of people are asking, where's your truck? why was it seized, all that kind of thing. So I thought I'd do a little video to explain why. You know, and like I always am, say things how I am and be real with you guys. But once again, I hope you have a really good week. I will see you guys at the weekend. Hopefully I feel a bit better than I do now. I'm a bit deflated. You know, it's like life is up and down. It's a challenge, but we're getting through it and we're pushing through it. So we'll come together and enjoy what is going to be a great weekend. And I'm looking forward to you know, going out in the L200 for the last time and getting it a bit dirty. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I couldn't be here without you all, and I'll see you in the next video.